Super excited to come to you with another episode of the Speakeasy podcast, where we talk about the behind the scenes of what it means to be the successfully paid speaker and author. I am your host, Altavis Pelzer, the voice manager. That part, I unmute the voice of women who are ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. So I'm super excited to be talking about this particular topic because me personally, I've been running a membership for about 3 years now. Same membership, great content. We've changed it up, we've switched it up, and I'm a part of a few memberships. And many of you are like, well, membership and subscriptions are not new. They're not new, but there are a few platforms who are opening up some opportunities and options for us as podcasters, for speakers and authors. And so we're going to dive into that in today's topic on the Speakeasy podcast. Okay, guys. So me personally, I'm always somebody who's looking at things and paying attention and trying to do research, not just for myself, but I do it for my team. I do it for my clients, and I'm always looking things up. And so there's been some new things happening in the atmosphere, right? For one, Facebook now has the subscriptions option. Now, there's a couple pieces to this. So I'll go through and explain just the one from Spreaker and from Facebook that is going on right now. But you may see that there are other platforms doing something similar, especially when it comes to the podcasting community. A membership or a subscription is a way for you to give really top-notch content to your, faithful followers, right? That sounds really weird saying it like that, but hear me out. You can give content to them from books, from meet and greets, any type of things that you can do. You're pulling them together in one space so that way you can talk to them directly, and it gives them exclusivity, something that most people love and will pay a price for. But not just that, now some of the platforms are starting to see this and saying, "Hey, let's get in on this. Let's not leave our dollars and cents off the table." Which is kind of interesting because, of course, you know that they're going to want their piece of the pie. But is it a piece of the pie that's really big? Most times it's not, especially in the beginning, because they're just starting these opportunities out. So Facebook has two options. They have one on your Facebook business page where you can have what some people call them super fans. There's subscriptions where you can subscribe and be placed into a private Facebook community where you go and get extra content from your influencer of your choice, content from whoever the page is by. They also have the subscription where it's just like a membership, basically. You create a Facebook group. It's a subscription group. They make payments right there in the group, and you can give them everything, which we know that if you've been paying attention, you knew Facebook was doing this. They were moving towards this a few years ago when they really did that whole shift when it came to groups. Because what they did was, if you had people who were in your groups and they did not ask to be in your group, they were removed. But you also saw that they did some changes. They added units where you could go and teach people different things and really try that out. They added ways that people can ask questions before people come into the community. They added so many different options, right? And it was all kind of formulating to, bring into a head this particular opportunity. There is a fee, of course. Facebook is not going to allow you to do business on their platform without getting some type of something. The interesting part is that many communities were already doing subscriptions, but they were doing it through outside means. Now, any of you that know Facebook, you know that you've been watching, and Facebook is the ultimate when it comes to anything you can do. I can do better. I can do anything better than you. And so they'll allow something to be done on their platform for quite some time, and then they give you an option and mimic it, that you can do it directly through them. It's been done with messenger bots. It's been done with live streaming, although they changed it up and they just took away the option for you to bring somebody on camera with you. So don't know if they're moving towards something amazing in that area just yet, but that part as well. And as they're moving towards this, like I said, it's wow, okay, they streamlined it. So people, the one thing that's really great about it is if somebody signs up for your subscription or your membership, is that they can pay with Google Pay or Apple Pay, which is really kind of cool. They can do, there's another way that they can pay. I didn't see any options for like Stripe or PayPal just yet. From what I saw, it was just with right. It was right through, like literally, right through your iTunes app. I mean, your iTunes account. Like the same way if you purchase something, an app, it would be the same exact way. Like that's literally how you would be paying through it every month. So however you pay for your apps and things of that nature. And that means that you would also be able to go right on your phone and unsubscribe or, cancel your subscription. Now that's pretty hot. I actually like the option that they give, because as somebody who's been doing the podcast and podcasting, as somebody who's been doing a membership for a couple years, we always come in contact with issues with outside payment issues, chasing people down, and they kind of cut all of that down. Now, why am I bringing this to the Speakeasy podcast listeners? Because if you are a speaker or an author, this is a great way for you to gain revenue. If you have content that you already have that you can give to them exclusively, this is great. It's a monthly fee coming from them. You would just market it and boom. Now, the thing that most people come in contact with when it comes to memberships and subscriptions is, are you going to have the content to give? And are you going to be able to keep them engaged? Like, I've done really well with being able to keep my accountability membership really engaged. Over the last couple of years, we've done some shifts and we've upgraded some things, and we've literally, I always go to them and I say, what's working, what's not working? What do you need more of? What do you need less of? And that's really been why we've been thriving the way we've been thriving. Now, different subscriptions are different prices. I'm in memberships that are $25 a month, $15 a month. I know that there are subscriptions through this option with Facebook that are $9 a month. And so you have to understand there's a market for it, because if not, people wouldn't be doing it. True or false? So there's obviously a market for it, and they've started with the influencers and seeing how they're working it out. And then, of course, it is, it comes from the head on down to us lowly lay people, us being able to do it as well. So that's one option. And then the podcast community, we got our own option, because Spreaker allows us now to have private episodes. Now, this is kind of interesting, because I'm like, as a podcaster, I guess for the content that I bring, I could bring them exclusive interviews. Like if I was doing an interview with Les Brown or, Eric Thomas, then I could do an exclusive interview for my community and have a subscription and it go just to them. Like that's crazy, right? Or it can be content, and you may do like a certain a live for them every week with, some updates or some resources, or maybe even do a Q&A, because with Spreaker, you can do a chat option when you're live. Like it's crazy how it changes the dynamic of doing a membership or a subscription. So my question to you is, as a speaker, an author, an entrepreneur, as a podcaster, do you think that this is a great option or not? Do you think that this is something that you would add to your business to bring in an extra stream of revenue? It's not doing extra depending on how much content you have. I'm somebody that has a ton of content. Unfortunately, I was at one point creating content after content, all types of webinars and programs, and for whatever reason, I was doing that, and that was the arena I was being pushed into. But I had over 100 trainings and webinars that I just had sitting, and why not give access to a membership for that content? So I'm putting it to the Speakeasy podcast listeners. I want to know. I want to hear your take on this when it comes to subscriptions and memberships. Because so many people on the flip side, I get so many of the negative. Now, I gave you guys the aha, the insight. And even, how to keep your community engaged, because it comes from your content. And some of you have content for days that you could be offering people, and you just have not sat down and even thought this process out yet. I get it. I understand. It's still kind of new for some people. Like I said, I've been doing it for a couple years now. I absolutely love my membership community. They're very supportive. It's very exclusive. They do not they tell people about it, but they don't really tell people about it. We even had them. We have a weekly accountability call that we do every Saturday, and they literally were like, "Yeah, we kind of want to market for you, but we don't really want to market because we don't want too many people in this community." And as an introvert, it works for me because I don't have to have a big community for it to be something that's productive, for it to be something that really does some great things for those who are in the community. Like, I don't have to do something spastastic. I can be me, but I'm also very transparent with them, and they get pushed off a cliff on a regular basis. So they're seeing changes within their business and their life, and I love that. And so it's not just a thing of they're just paying a membership, because I get it that some people have reservations about it because they think of the membership in the way of a gym membership where people are going to be paying and you're really not getting anything out of it. Like, you're paying just to be able to say that you have this membership. And I get that. I've seen memberships like crazy. I've even seen people get people into memberships in a crazy way. I mean, offering like a free signed copy of a book, and then you get charged $40 a month to be in the membership. Like, it's crazy, right? So you really have to say, before starting a membership, is it something that I can maintain? Do I have the content? Do I have the time? Do I have the support to maintain a membership? I have a community. I have a team. I have moderators. I know that there are much bigger communities out there that have, multiple moderators as well. They have a big team. Shout out to Jasmine Starr. She has a membership that she does. And it's a great way for you to build and just, come in and get that support and, have those conversations that you don't necessarily want to go live and have with everyone. Like I said, this is a great way for you to ask questions of your community and find out exactly what it is they need. So that way you're not building content that is just sitting. You're not building an infrastructure like that's not needed. So as an author and a speaker, an entrepreneur, this is a great way for you to do it. And they do it through different ways. Some people do it through an app. I saw a couple apps pop up where you can do a subscription through the app, and that's how they're reaching their followers and engaging with their followers. Now, it's interesting too, because if you do it through an app, even when it comes to you being an author, you can do it to where they get, certain segments of your book, and like you could do a book club, you can do all types of things, right? And then it allows you to take your content off of some of the bigger platforms like Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. That's crazy, right? because you create your own platform. And when you have a membership and a subscription, that's what you're doing. You're ultimately creating your own platform. You're creating your own space. Now, of course, right now they're on other platforms, but there are platforms out there where you don't have to be on Facebook or Spreaker. There's other ways for you to do it as well. But I just thought that it was really interesting how Spreaker and Facebook, have these options now, and what that could mean for the podcasting industry. Because a lot of people ask, oh my goodness, how do you make money with podcasting? Well, actually putting yourself out there and getting into the podcasting industry, you can have sponsors, you can have guest pay to be on, depending on how, actively engaged your listening audience is. And this is another way, subscription. It's a great idea, guys. It really is. How do you think you would be able to use it for your business? I mean, there's subscription boxes for days. Let's be honest. I think subscription boxes went through a big boom in maybe like I want to say 2016, 2017. There was a big boom, and everybody and their mama was doing a subscription box. I've seen K-pop subscription boxes. I've seen subscription boxes for hair care products, for clothes, everything. Like, we really saw a huge boom, and it really worked because people, they didn't like to shop as much. And so having the option of, something being sent to me without me having to do a whole lot of shopping, and knowing that it's going to be something that I pretty much like, because I can pick from, what I like and don't like, that, man, you just made somebody's life so simple. So, although there's the good, there's also the bad. We talked about how, making sure you have the content. When people unsubscribe, that's loss of revenue, because there's no, when you have a membership, depending on the type of membership it is or subscription it is, there's no contract for how long they should be in the membership. And so I want you guys to really gain access to this. There's no contract. Now, I've been a part of some that have a contract, for how long, depending on the membership, or if it was like a mastermind. Like, imagine doing it with a mastermind. That's powerful. So there's some that are like a mastermind, and it's for 6 months. I've done mastermind communities where it's 6 months, because I really think that when it comes to masterminding, you have to have at least 6 months to do a shift in your mind in order for you to really go after the success that you really want. And so it normally takes about 6 months to a year for you to shift some things. So that part is really significant. So my questions, again, as the author, the speaker, the entrepreneur, as a podcaster, do you think subscriptions are a good thing? Do you think this is the way that we should go? And for those who have had a bad membership or subscription experience, we want to know. I want to hear what these experiences were, because there's some people that rave about memberships, and then there's some other people that are just like, nah, I'm good. I've been there, tried it, got the t-shirt, burned the t-shirt, and spit on the ashes. Like, for some people, it was really just that bad. But I want to hear your experience. So hit me up on Twitter, @AltaVSpeaks. Hit me up in the free Facebook community, bit.ly/World Voice Community. We want to make sure that you let us know how this, what this really meant for you. And I'm going to put this in the group so that way they can go and they can comment on it as well, because I feel like this is really a discussion that can change your revenue for 2020. It can bring in hundreds, thousands. If you look at some communities, they have 1,000 people in their membership. If you're charging people even $10, and it's 1,000 people in your membership, look at how much money you're making a month. Like, look at the dollars and cents, break it down. If you have 50 people in your membership and those 50 people are paying $100 a month, look at what you just did. Like, you have to have that understanding as an entrepreneur, because remember, speaker, author, podcaster, you're still an entrepreneur. You have to have that understanding of, if I have to show up for every single thing in order for me to generate revenue, then I'm always going to be hustling. And in this opportunity, hustling to gain access to that. So I just wanted to bring that to you. I'm super excited, guys. If you do not know, this is the Speakeasy podcast, where we go behind the scenes talking about what it means to be the successfully paid speaker and author, with your host, out, Savise Pelzer, your voice manager. Until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.